Teaching kids about money can set them up to have a solid financial future, but most of that teaching needs to start at home. Experts have long encouraged parents to set positive examples of financial behaviors, but before showing kids how to open a bank account or how a credit card works, teaching them the hows and whys behind basic financial principles is a necessary foundation. Now, to discuss the importance of teaching children to save as well as to invest, we are now joined via Zoom by a Franc app co-founder, Sebastian Patel. Sebastian, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Now, of course, a lot of parents would say, please teach us about money and how to invest. So how do you begin the conversation then in terms of how best to start, saving money and to making money, in fact, for children?
Hi, Nati. Thanks for having me. It's quite a touchy subject, I guess. The earlier that people start talking about money in the household, the better. Get children involved in sort of budget discussions. If they want to buy something, take it out of their pocket money. You could also get them to understand, like when they put money away and when they invest it, there's actually a return that's earned. Alternatively, if they need money, you can also, charge them interest to show them that there is, a cost in terms of like when you borrow money. But the most important thing is to start the discussion as early as possible.
So where do you actually begin? I mean, investing for any adult is a daunting task, particularly because there's so many packages out there, that one has to look at. So where do you then have that conversation with the child, and what systems then do you use, in order to A, start banking your money, but B, also importantly, investing it?
Yeah, so Franc is an investment platform, really trying to make it very simple for the everyday person to start investing. And, a lot of our customers also asked us, they wanted to get their children to start investing as soon as possible. So we've created now the ability, to open, for once a parent has an account, they can, seamlessly open an account for their kid through their own profile. They just need a sort of a birth certificate of the child, and away you go. They can, give access to the child, to their account, so they can see the balance growing. And like I said, we try to make it very simple for the everyday person to start the investing journey. We only have 2 products on the platform, one for short-term saving and one for longer-term investment. So it's really to get people to, move their money away from a bank account where it's not doing anything into a product that is actually earning them a good return.
Well, we're living in very trying times at the moment. And, some people start off with very good intentions, particularly because you mentioned short-term savings, where you want to, start off by saving for a particular, goal that you have, possibly within a 12-month period or so. But because of the high costs of fuel and food that we are currently seeing because of what's happening globally, there is that possibility of going against that goal. So how flexible then is this kind of platform that you are talking about?
I mean, our platform is very flexible. You'll always have access to your money if you need it. The only time that you may not have access to it is if you've blocked your goal. So like you said, some people have been tempted to raid the kitty. But, if you've blocked your goal, you're almost like, preventing yourself from doing that. But yeah, I mean, if you really need it, then you can have access to your money. But yeah, Franc is a very flexible platform. You'll always have access to your cash because we know that emergencies happen. And one of the most common goals that we actually have our customers saving towards is actually an emergency fund, which over COVID, a lot of people really needed it when, they weren't working anymore and needed access quickly to money.
So talk to us then about some of the investment, platforms that should a child take up on this offer, where would they typically start? What are some of the options that are available, particularly if you look at risk-averse, parents per se?
Yeah, I mean, it's strange that because, children, obviously by definition, they're young, so they've got their whole lives ahead of them. So they should actually be investing in riskier assets, which has got a higher chance of better returns, but they can be volatile in the short term. But like you say, some people are risk averse and they prefer to keep their money or invest their money into a product where they're earning steady interest, which is also better than just keeping it sort of under the mattress or in a bank account where it's not earning any interest. But generally, they should actually be investing in a higher return product like the stock market. So on Franc, we have two offerings. One is a money market fund, and one is where you're investing into the stock market, where history has shown us that over a long period of time, you'll earn inflation-beating returns. I mean, the product that we have, the Satrix 40, the return is around about 10% on average over the last 10 years, which, as we know, has beaten inflation.
So at what point do you know that, okay, now that I've, amassed so much money, now it is time for me to invest? I mean, earlier we spoke about just how interesting South Africans have been in terms of, saving and not necessarily being good savers at that, and also being risk adverse. So at what point then do you know that it is a favorable time for you to invest?
Yeah, I mean, so one of the things that we've done, there's no minimums, so you can start investing any amount at any time. The most important thing is just to start. So I don't think you need to have accumulated a certain amount before starting. I think even if you've got 50 Rand, 100 Rand, you can get going, and the earlier the better, because then you can see compound interest and returns on your money. Yeah, so the sooner the better, really.
All right. Thank you so much, Sebastian, for your time. Interesting conversation there. Sebastian Patel is a Franc app, a co-founder. Thank you so much for your time talking to us there about how children should start saving and investing as early as possible.